Hello everyone, Patricia here. As you may have noticed, if you follow my channel, I didn't post any videos last week, and the reason for that was I didn't have anything pre-filmed and some stuff came up and I didn't have time to film. So today I'm back with a new video. This time it's going to be a tag again, and it's going to be the I Dare You tag. And I don't know if I'm going to tag any people in this tag in particular. Again, as I usually do, I just kind of say, if you watch this video and you want to do the video, I tag you. Basically, I'm tagging the people watching who really want to do the tag themselves. So I guess there is one person I can tag, actually, thinking about it, and that person is Kimberlyn Ann Books. She's one of my very good friends. I've known her for a long time, and I guess I'm tagging you. You're the only person that I know for a fact has not done this tag yet. So, otherwise, I'm just tagging people who are watching this video who want to do the tag. So let's just get on with the video. I'm going to be reading the questions off of my phone, so that's why I'm holding it right now. And so, let's just get on with the first question. What book has been on your shelf the longest? So, I think it comes as no surprise to anybody who has watched my channel before. The book that has been on my shelf the longest is Harry Potter, A Disease Stain by J.K. Rowling, basically the Danish version of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And I can actually tell you what year I got it because my dad wrote it in the book. I got it the 3rd of July 2002. That was either the day that I got it or the day that we started reading it. I don't know why, but he wrote that in there. And there are a lot of little stickers here and there because I got some Harry Potter stickers. So I filled up the book with those. You can't see them properly, but they're just Harry trying on the sorting hat, some potion stuff. It's really cute. And the second question, what is your current read, your last read, and the book you'll read next? So my current read is The Hobbit by J.R. Tolkien. I haven't read in it for quite a while now because I'm still in a reading slump. But what I have read of it, I have really enjoyed, and I hope to read more actually today. So let's see if that happens. For my last read, I would say it's Labyrinth by Kate Moss, but I did not finish it. So if we're talking books that I actually did finish, or a book that I did finish, the last one was Frostblood by Ellie Blake. And as for the book that I want to read next, I have just purchased a bunch of new books. I will do a haul on those as soon as they have all arrived. And hopefully my next read will be amongst those. My next read will hopefully come through the door very soon. And question number 3. What book did everyone like but you hated? But in my case, the easiest answer ever would be We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. If I had not purchased this with my own money or gotten it from somebody that I cared about, this book would be in the trash, but I paid for it myself and therefore it's staying on the shelf, and it's also a very good example if you're talking about a book you didn't like. In general, it was fine. I like the writing style, the ending. Hated the ending. The ending was a cheap cop-out in my opinion. You can think whatever you want, obviously. Maybe you love this book. I just didn't. Question 4. What book do you keep telling yourself you'll read but you probably won't? This one I had to think about a little bit, but of the books that I own currently and of the ones that I've thought about, even though I probably won't finish the Game of Thrones series, I do want to try at some point in my life. And I know that that was kind of part of the question. But for this one, I think I might have to say The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I don't know what it is. I just, like, zombies is not that interesting. Vampires, don't ever touch a book really that includes that. And I've just never been interested in it. I mean, except Harry Potter. I think it's the second one where there's a vampire mentioned, and that's pretty much it. But this aliens has just always been a difficult topic for me because of the way they're described and the way that everything takes place, because it is a cool concept. I'm not saying that there's no life on another planet somewhere out there, but I'm just saying that the way that they're portrayed and the way they're described, I find it ridiculous. I do believe there's life somewhere else, but with the descriptions that are everywhere in movies and in TV shows and in books, I just can't get into it. I'm sorry. I may read it one day. Right now, I don't think I am. Question 5. What book are you saving for retirement? For this one, I'm either going to say The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings if I don't finish them this time around, which I hope I do, but I probably won't. and otherwise if I end up never picking them up until then I'll say any Dan Brown book, because I started one and it was so good and I just haven't picked it up since. So I may save it for the day when I don't know what else to read. Question 6. Last page, read it first or wait till the end? Okay, so I've never in my life picked up a book and read the entire last page, because I'm the kind of person that wants to discover along the way. But I am that person that will see the chapter's done or the book is done, and I'll read the last few words or the last word of the entire of that chapter or the book. And I don't know why I do it. I think a lot of people do, but I just always do it, and it's actually really annoying. So I never read the last page, but I do read the last word or the last sentence. Question 7. Acknowledgement, waste of paper and ink, or interesting aside? I'm not quite sure what they mean by interesting aside. I guess I never think it's a waste of paper, because everybody should, like, if they have somebody to acknowledge for writing their book, they should definitely do that. I only read them if it's an author that I'm interested in knowing who are they acknowledging. For example, shall we just point over to the whole shelf that I have over here? But other than that, if it's a long acknowledgement, I will never read it. If it's short, then I'm tempted. But if it's an author that I'm interested in, then it's never a waste. But I don't think it's a waste though. Alright, question 8. Which book character would you switch places with? So for this one, I have 2 different characters, because I have a short, I promise, explanation for why for each of them. One would be Ginny. I know a lot of people, if they think of the Harry Potter series, they think of Harry, but I'm like, Ginny grew up, yeah, she was probably picked on by her brothers a lot, but she did grow up in a big family that really loved her, and maybe it was secondhand, and she did go through a lot of crap, but she still lived in that universe, but without, for example, being an orphan like Harry. That's why I would say Ginny, because in general I just think it's, you know, she still had a pretty cool life, and she's a cool character in the books, definitely. And my second choice would probably be Penny Porter from the Girl Online series. Again, a cheesy choice, I had to. And the biggest reason is, a lot of people would probably say, she has anxiety, why would you want that? The deal is, I already have it. I already know what it's like to live with, so it wouldn't be that different for me. But I feel like her life is still pretty cool, and she does go through a lot of crap at times, but I feel like she has a cool life. So my first choice is Ginny, but if I couldn't be her, I would choose Penny Porter. And question number 9. Do you have a book that reminds you of something specific in your life? Time, place, or person? For this one, I'm going to have to say Harry Potter Frühlingsordnung by J.K. Rowling. And the reason why this reminds me of something specific is that my dad, he was reading these books out to me when I was little. He was reading them, yeah, as bedtime stories primarily. And as you can see, it's pretty ragged because we never finished this. We never finished the 5th book, when basically we brought it everywhere and we tried to read, and it just wasn't happening every single time, or I fell asleep too quickly or something like that. And I specifically remember being in Italy, and that was right around the time when you're just about outgrowing the whole having bedtime stories read to you. But this book reminds me of my dad, and every time that he would read me a bedtime story, and we would try this and we would fail. Question number 10. Name a book that you acquired in an interesting way. Honestly, for this one, I don't think I have an interesting way, because the only way I've ever gotten a book was by buying it myself, getting it as a present, or getting it from a secondhand bookstore. So I don't really have an answer for this one. Question 11. Have you ever given a book away for a special reason to a special person? For this one, I was kind of wondering, do they mean like a book that you own that you've then given to somebody else, or I don't know. I don't think I ever have, to be completely honest. Question 12. Which book has been with you in most places? I don't think I can say one particular book. I'm just going to point over here one more time, and that's the answer to that one. Question 13. Any required reading you hated in high school that wasn't so bad 2 years later? The thing about high school in Denmark is that we don't really have required reading. We don't really have books in the same sense. But I did have that the one year that I went to school in America, but I didn't hate any of the stuff that we read. So, and I haven't read anything that I've read in school since. Question 14, used or brand new? For this one, I'm gonna have to say new books. There's just something about them, although it does break my heart to break the spine of a book. I don't know what it, I don't know. I just prefer a new book. I can't really give a better answer than that. I prefer new books. I think it's just the clean look of them and how they're like, they haven't been through anything before I got them. Question 15. Have you ever read a Dan Brown book? Well, I read the first 78 pages of Dan Brown's Digital Fortress. I really loved it, then we moved, and then I went into a reading slump. And I probably picked up Harry Potter, and then that was it. I don't know for a fact if that's the truth, but yeah. So this is the only book that I've read part of, but I really, really enjoyed what I read, and I don't know why I didn't pick it up, because why not pick a book up that seems interesting and cool? Question 16. Have you ever seen a movie you liked more than the book? In my case, I would say the Maze Runner movies, more because they're over quicker. It's not because I hate them, I just don't love them, and it wasn't really my cup of tea. And my other choice would be Paper Towns. Again, it was over faster. 17. Have you ever read a book that made you hungry, cookbooks included? I mean, now and again when Harry mentions all the food that they eat for the different meals whenever it's like extravagant and there's a feast. Question 18. Who is the person whose book advice you'll always take? I don't think I have a person where I'll take every single advice, but I'll say Kimberlyn is one of those people that I would take the advice of majority of the time, but it depends on if I'm in the mood to read what has been recommended or something like that. For example, I haven't read a Sarah J. Maas book yet, and she keeps recommending them, and I understand, and I really desperately want to read them, but because they're so hyped, I'm afraid that I'm not going to like them. Because when things are hyped, my brain is just wired to say, you're not going to like this. Although you really want to read it, you won't like it, basically, which is so annoying. And another one would probably be Haley in Bookland. Usually, she's pretty spot on with what kind of books that I like. Not every single time, but the majority of the time. I guess those are my two answers. And the final question, question 19. Is there a book out of your comfort zone, for example, outside of your usual reading genre, that you ended up loving? For this one, at the time that I read the book, I had not really read that much contemporary. I had read a tiny bit, but it wasn't really for me. I'd mainly read John Green, so you can probably tell how that went. So I thought it was out of my comfort zone. But I've never really been into romantic books and contemporary. I am more now, but I don't have anything else out of my comfort zone, I guess. So I would say Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, because I absolutely loved this book. And I would read it again several times because I really enjoyed this. This is definitely one of my all-time favorite books now. So that was everything for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed and that you will click the like button, and hopefully you'll subscribe for more future content, and that you will want to come back and watch me again. So as I've already said, that was everything for today's video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!